So it's been a while. We're ranking top 9 in AppSumo. Will probably be top 3, if not top 1 in the coming week. So it's time for a new update video of all the features we've been working on, we've implemented, and a new help guide to get you onboarded as soon as possible and getting value out of the AmChamp. This is not just for agencies, also for users that don't intend on white labeling and reselling. I'll go through everything from A to Z, so you know exactly where to begin and how to set the whole system up. So just jump straight into it. I'll start off by showing my DMChamp account, which has, as you can see, there's a lot of activity in the past 30 days. It sent 15K messages, received almost 10K replies, and spread across 300 contacts. So on this account, I'm using my WhatsApp web number, so the QR version. That shows you that these numbers are capable of doing large volumes. And here I'll show you a different client. So this is Fugenics. This is also one of our major accounts. And you can see they're doing 15K sent, about 10K replies. So the same amount of volume, except this is fully run through the WhatsApp API. So if you actually treat your WhatsApp web, your WhatsApp QR number with respect, don't spam, warm it up properly, you can reach really high volumes, and you probably won't need the WhatsApp API in most cases. So let's jump into it. When you sign up for DMChamp, you'll be thrown into the setup wizard. We now have it here in the left menu as well, in case you skip it or want to go through it again. Each setup wizard creates its own campaign, so you can just go through it as many times as you like. But you don't have to, because in essence, what it does is just a flow of having you create a campaign, connect a channel, and get you up and running as soon as possible, which is also possible just through the menu. So if you go to campaigns and you click new campaign, you can just do the same here, create a campaign, select the campaign type, enable bookings, advanced mode, add your website, and upload any documents. And for channels, you just head to settings and then channels, and here you can connect your channels. So let's just go to the setup wizard for now. So first question the setup wizard will ask you is what describes your business. Just pick any of these. It isn't that important. So I'll just use DMChamp as an example. So I'll choose SaaS companies and click next. So we've changed this a bit now. Before, you would just see all the use cases. What we saw is that people didn't fully understand that. So now we've simplified it. How does the conversation for your AI start? Is it that you're going to reach out to the customer first, or is the customer going to reach out to you first? And in rare cases, really rare cases, it would be I do both. I can give you an example where the only like real example where I do both is relevant is I had set up a funnel for a different product. I don't think it's actually, I think it's still here. Yeah, so this is a Dutch landing page, sales page for DMChamp we ran almost a year ago. So you can see there's an opt-in page where we ask for the phone number. So what happens is once someone fills this in, they land on a second page where they see a video sales letter, and while they're watching the video sales letter, halfway throughout the video or towards the end of the video, a button to start the WhatsApp chat opens up. So that would traditionally be an incoming campaign because they're clicking on the button and starting the chat with you. But some cases people don't do that. So you'd want to reach out to them first because they didn't reach out to you. And before, you'd have to create two campaigns now, an incoming campaign and an outgoing campaign. And that's why we created the combined campaign, where with the combined campaign, you can add someone to the same campaign, but still where you'd be the one reaching out to them first. So that's how we set it up. And you can actually copy this funnel. It's worked really well in the past. We had about a 15% close rate with this, focusing on the Dutch market where WhatsApp isn't even that big of a thing, and Dutch people are very, very stingy. I can say that because I'm Dutch myself, so that's perfectly fine. So that's how it works at the moment. It's still kind of confusing. So in the future, we're probably going to reframe the whole incoming, outgoing combined campaigns as well. But for now, let's just continue. So let's see. I do my customers messages me first. This is probably where 90% of the people, or 90% of the people will pick. So I'll click this, next. Then I can see the possible use cases for this. So customer support is pretty straightforward. You have a website widget or a button or anything where someone starts a conversation with you. Then we have comment to DM. This is, of course, for Instagram and Facebook pages, where you have these posts where you say comment XYZ, and the AI will then respond to that comment and send them a DM. And then we have three more cases which are disabled now because those are all outgoing campaigns. So database reactivation is pretty straightforward. If you're familiar with the term, it's where you have an old list of leads where, or old list of customers that haven't visited your, let's say, clinic in a long time, and you just load them into the system and send a reactivation message with some promotion saying something like, hey, we're doing this and this offer. This was actually one of the first use cases for DMChamp. There was this clinic. I don't remember exactly what the numbers were, but they made a good amount of money. I think they had 1,500 leads, and we probably closed about 2% of them. They made like good money. I don't know the exact number. The AI demo on our website probably does know the exact figure. So if you're interested in that, ask our demo bot. So that's one use case. Keep in mind for the database reactivation use case, at the moment, you need WhatsApp or SMS because for Instagram and Messenger or website widget, for the website widget, it's not even possible. But for Instagram and Messenger, it's not allowed. It's not possible. Maybe in the future it will be, where if we get enough requests for that, we'll look into it. Then we have lead follow-up. Again, this also is for WhatsApp or SMS because, again, for the other channels, it's not allowed or not possible. Lead follow-up is basically someone fills in a form on your website and you send that lead over to DMChamp and DMChamp starts a conversation. Then we have a super specific use case, review automation, which is basically lead follow-up, but we created a separate use case for this because we have one agency that's doing this very successfully. They've got about, I think, 20 to 25 clients, and they're getting 1 or 2 every month. They charge like 500 euros because they're a Dutch agency. 500 euros for each client. So do the math, they're making good money with just review automation. It's really straightforward. They're targeting restaurant owners, so restaurant visitors. So each restaurant visitor, the next morning they get a WhatsApp message asking them how it went, and if it's a positive review, they'll get, if the experience was positive, it'll be forwarded to TripAdvisor. If it's negative, a feedback form. Keep in mind that depending on where you are, this could be considered review gating, so look into that. But that's been working really well for them. So I think for now, I'll just click customer support and continue. Let's go next. So then we have, do you need appointment booking? And there's 3 options. No booking needed is obvious. It doesn't need to book. Now we have an external booking link. This is where you use a system like Calendly or something else, and you have this booking link that you want people to use to book. So you just select this and then add your booking link. What will happen then is in the conversation, the AI will share that link to tell people use this link to book. And then we have AI-powered booking. So no back and forth links. You can sync this to Google Calendar. And what it does is it checks your Google Calendar and directly in the chat makes the booking. It asks people what time they prefer. It checks your Google Calendar whether there's availability there and actually books a slot there. So no back and forth with links. It just books it directly and they receive the email from Google Calendar as well. If you, of course, ask for the email first. Keep that in mind. So in your instructions, you probably want to add that the AI should ask the email first before making the booking, because then when making the booking, it has the email and it can send out the confirmation email. So for now, no booking needed. Next, here we can add the website. So I'll just add dmcham.com. Click analyze website. And what this will do is it will analyze your homepage and check which pages your homepage links to. So you can see it found these pages. You can also upload files, but I don't do that most of the times. To be honest, I've never done that. And then AI personality, I'll just leave it at professional for now. Regarding scraping the website, we always get the question, can we not scrape our entire blogs, all our blogs or our hundreds of pages? And the answer to that is yes and no. No, we not this way, because what we found is just throwing all of the knowledge into the AI isn't a good way to set up an agent, because it loses its goal. It doesn't have a direction anymore. So you need to set up specific agents that have a clear goal and direction. And for that, they don't need to know what you've written in your 100, 500 blog posts. So keep that, try to keep that like limited. That's why we also limited to max 10 pages it can scrape to create the initial playbook. But for your knowledge base, that's where the FAQs come into play. So there's two things when creating an agent in our system. So the first is the AI instructions, which has a limit of, depending on which plan you're on, 100,000 characters. And the second is FAQs. The FAQs are unlimited. But again, don't just throw in everything, because the AI doesn't need to know all of that info. It's just going to create bloat, and it'll be slower. It'll give less accurate answers because it won't have a clear direction. What's better to do in that case is create multiple AIs, and only if you have two very clear goals. So for now, we'll just click next. And here we can connect our channels. So we got WhatsApp, Meta, web chat, and SMS. And we're working on Telegram and iMessage. Those will be coming soon as well. So for WhatsApp, there's two methods. Mine is already connected. So when connecting WhatsApp, there's two methods. One is Meta API and the other is WhatsApp QR. You need to keep in mind these are two very different platforms. So most people are probably familiar with WhatsApp on their phones. So they probably want to connect that to the MChamp as well. So for that, you need to use the WhatsApp Web or WhatsApp QR method. That way, it will be connected to the MChamp, and at the same time, you can just continue the conversation on your phone, jump in anytime, see what's happening, and there's no limitation. You also get the typing bubbles, and that's the one I'm using. You might be wondering what's the downside of that. There is just one downside, is that these numbers need to be carefully warmed up, otherwise they will be restricted. So if you just buy a fresh number, you can't just instantly connect it to WhatsApp Business and connect it to the MChamp, because Meta will instantly flag that you need to connect it to your WhatsApp Business on your phone, send a message from your personal number to this new WhatsApp Business number, maybe wait a few hours, maybe a day, and then you should connect it to the MChamp. And we've also built in some limits for a warm-up. I'll get to that later. Yeah, that's the main downside of it. The upside, they're endless. It's a lot cheaper. It's just 50 credits a month for your private server and proxy. Whereas if you connect to the Meta API, you need to pay Meta's template prices. Those go through our credit system with no markup. So if you partner with Twilio, they got the per message delivery fee of, I think, 0.005 cent. So if you convert that to our credit system, it's 0.05 credit. So if you do large volumes, it can add up. And of course, there's a 24-hour message window where if you don't have a response in 24 hours, you need to use their approved templates. You create your approved template, you create your template, they approve it, and then you can use that. and there's no tapping bubbles. So those are the downsides. The upside is you get a lot more volume. So if you're doing bulk messaging of more than 50 contacts per day, you definitely need to use a WhatsApp Business API. You cannot do that with WhatsApp QR. You will be instantly restricted. For example, database reactivation, you definitely need the WhatsApp API, because for that you can load in. I think the starting limit is 1,000, so you can just load in 1,000 contacts and just send a blast. But you still need to be careful if the limits are higher. But if you send out a really bad message and people start reporting you, you still will be restricted, and then you'll be restricted on Meta, which going around is such a headache. You need to really know some hacks and tricks to go around once you get restricted there. So the best way to do database reactivation anyway with like large volumes is not to load in 1,000 contacts and just blast them. Do it in small batches. Start with a batch of 100, send it out, see what your response rate is. If nobody responds, good thing you didn't send out to 1,000 contacts, because you would have been banned, because people aren't responding. They're probably reporting you. You need to modify your opening message and try again until you get a decent reply rate. Then you can blast the rest, or keep improving the message. That's also possible. So next, one more thing about the WhatsApp Business API. You can buy numbers through our system, which goes through Twilio, and the connection is fully automatic. One thing to keep in mind is in the Meta connection flow, you need to make sure you select a WhatsApp business app that you've not connected to some other business solution provider before, because then it won't work. The system will say it failed. So in most cases, you'll just create a new business WhatsApp business account through there. And for some reason, on the next step, Meta will ask you if you want to bring your own number or use one of Meta's numbers without that just shows a display name. Don't select that, because then it won't connect to the Yamchamp anymore. You need to select bring your own number and go through that flow. It's pretty automatic. You can for some countries, Twilio doesn't sell numbers, so you need to come with the number. You can buy an extra SIM, because if you transfer your WhatsApp Business to WhatsApp Business API, you won't be able to use it on your phone anymore. So yeah, that's it for WhatsApp. Then we have Meta, Instagram, comment to DM. Pretty straightforward. You just go through the connection flow. You just need to make sure that inside Messenger, inside Facebook or Instagram, you have automated greeting messages off, because if you have those on and someone sends you a message, your automated replies will take over, and then the Yamchamp won't be able to have that conversation, because Meta restricts who can own the conversation. And also your in some cases, your Instagram and Facebook page need to be connected, so you can check that here. So if you go to business.facebook.com, here you need to make sure that you see both your Facebook and Meta account here. Otherwise, the connection flow, there might be some issues. And for Instagram, somewhere when you go through that flow, it will probably ask whether you want a third party to have messaging control. Of course, you need to enable that as well. So yeah, that's Instagram Messenger. Then we have the web chat. So for the website chat, it's here we have a simplified version. If you go to if you go to channels here, actually let me use. If you go to the widget here, you have a lot more options. So for now, I'll just close this. I'll just show the full version here. So it's pretty straightforward. Name, picture, some colors, opening message, position, right or left, sound, ask for notification permission, response speed, pop-up message, privacy policy, and channels. So if you want to have optionally have a link there to your WhatsApp or your other channels, you can toggle them here as well. Security, which domains can actually embed your code, and that's pretty much it. So from personal experience, why would you use either one of the WhatsApp or Meta or any of the other channels? So the main thing for not using web chat is that once people leave your website, they're gone. We have an option where you ask for the contact details first, but still people don't spend that long on your website. With WhatsApp or even the other Meta or Instagram or Messenger, is you can keep in contact with these people over days, weeks, if not months, if not years. And that's what we see in Freegenics. It's one of our longest running clients. I think they've been using the system for 2 years. And we see people come back after 6 months and converting, and it goes through WhatsApp. With a web chat widget, that's simply not possible because nobody's gonna spend that long on your website. So keep that in mind. And also with the web chat, in most cases, people know it's AI, and the reality is people aren't fans of AI. No matter how good it is, if they have a suspicion that it's AI, they'll just drop off. You're never going to convert. We've built our system to be super human-like. That's why we've also have these delays and typing indicators. But if you want to skip all of that, you can remove the delays. For example, here we have response speed. You can set it at max speed, more robotic. But yeah, you'll be hurting yourself. But it's up to you. I don't recommend it. I recommend just coming across as human as possible. That's how you close deals. That's how sales works. Next up is SMS. It goes through Twilio. So for SMS, it works a bit different. I'll click next for now. So here there's some more options, and then you save campaign is going to take you here, configure follow-ups. And there's a warning here that if you have a new number, do not turn this on. I'll get to that in a bit. But if you do enable follow-ups, there's a whole configuration here. So we have quick follow-ups. These are within 24 hours. You can set max 3 follow-ups for within 24 hours. They're fully AI generated based on the past conversation. Then we have advanced follow-up, which are beyond the 24-hour window. It can be days, weeks, and months. And for this, you need to create these smart templates. For example, here we have one. So, hey, first name, just checking in on the Enchamp conversation. You mentioned personal contact. So the AI is still going to look at the conversation history and personalize the message and then send it. We have 3 cycles. Basically to like mix it up, so you're not constantly sending the same template if for the same lead if they go quiet multiple times throughout weeks, days, months. So I'll disable this for now, click next, and then here you can try it out. But for now, I'm just going to close it because I don't want to publish this campaign. So I'll just go back to the mtemp. And we can see here it created this campaign as a draft, so I can just edit it anytime. So here we have it. This is the normal campaign creation flow. So on the first page, you'll see this. You can here optionally add your keywords, select the channels. I'll just leave it like this for now. I'll just go into the live campaign because I don't want to accidentally publish that. So just open this. So here we see this is the AppSumo live campaign. Our channels are enabled because WhatsApp and WhatsApp Web both enabled for this. These are the pages it's using. You can turn on AI web search. So in case we recently had someone that sells cars, and they of course want the AI to be able to check inventory live then and there. So they've turned on AI web search and added their catalog page. So if someone asks for a specific car, it can actually fetch those details live, real time, and present the link. So I'll continue. So here we see the entire campaign instructions again. And like I said, there's a character limit. You can see you don't even need 100k characters. I'm only using 32, and my account's actually limited to 50k. So here we have the entire playbook. You can fully customize this. I'll quickly go over everything. So persona is pretty straightforward. Who the AI is. It helps adding examples of stuff. What the goal is, pretty straightforward. Company info, rules. So here you can add rules. For example, if someone what to do if someone asks whether you're an AI or bot. This will be fully generated for you initially. You can fully customize this however you like. Then we have the conversation flow here. And then we have alert human when here. So here there's rules when it should alert a human and how it should do that. Since this is our live demo here, we've mostly set to rarely alert the human, just keep the conversation going as long as you can. We have conclude when. This is when the AI doesn't alert a human, just like stops the conversation. And then here we have some parameters to configure to make it more human-like. For example, the minimum wait time and maximum wait time. I've set this to 0 and 1. I would not recommend doing that. I probably put something like 5 and 30 here. I've put it at 1 and 0 because we have lots of users coming from AppSumo, and they assume it's AI straight away. So they'll be like, why is it slow if you're AI? So we just reduce it. And actually we have lots of users that have no idea. So yeah, they think it's really pretty funny to read back those chats. Then we have max messages the AI can send before pausing. So why would you limit this? Sometimes conversations just end up going forever for whatever reason, and they're not going anywhere, and they'll be using your credits or tokens. So you might want to put a limit here. What happens when the limit's reached? The AI will pause and send you an email that you can check what's going on. The response speed, again here, I would not put it at quick because just like how a human needs time to carefully think and give a good answer, with AI it's similar. If you put it at quick, it won't think as hard. If you have something simple, straightforward, sure, maybe. But in most cases, you want thoughtful, balanced, or even human-like. And for AI quality, either Pro or Economy. Well, Economy costs less credit, but is a lot worse in quality. I rarely recommend Economy unless you're really tight on budget. Just stick to Pro, and especially if it's not English or not or a language that isn't as popular, definitely don't do Economy because it's using a smaller language model, and those are just a lot worse if it isn't a language that has lots of information, articles online. I think for Spanish and English it might still be fine, but for something like Dutch it isn't. It starts making really weird mistakes. Then max messages per response. So like most AI platforms, they just send this giant block of text and you instantly know it's AI. So what our system does is just like how an actual human sends DMs, it splits those up, but you can configure that here as well. We've gotten feedback where like people that are a bit older, they do tend to send large blocks of text instead of splitting them up. So you can configure that here. Use minimum wait time for new contacts. This goes back to these two values you set here. So for new contacts, it would use the minimum value. Enable 24/7. So this is relevant. You probably want to keep this on if you're international. You got, for example, this number is getting customers messages from all over the world. But if you're local, you might want to limit this to working times. So I'll just click the next for now. So here we have the FAQs. You can see these are all loaded into the campaign. You can upload files as well. And one thing I forgot is you can also import and export this. So you can export this to Claude or ChatGPT or whatever you use, Gemini, and make some tweaks there and import it back. Keep in mind it needs to keep the exact same format. So you need to actually explain that in your prompt when going over there. Same for the FAQs, you can import or export them. You can add more FAQs here. The ones that aren't toggled on, those are created in the account, but they're not added to the campaign. So I'll go next for now. So here we have tags. So we got AppSumo tier 1 to 6, AppSumo review, and we tell the AI when to assign the tag. So it assigns a tag, and you can optionally add webhooks to each tag if you want to sync it back to your CRM or trigger some automation behind it. So this is one-way automation. The AI sends something to an external system. If you want something where the AI sends or gets information back, you can use custom functions. For example, here we have get order status. It's not really used, but we've had customers create a 11 labs custom function where the custom function is called call customer, and whenever someone says they want to be called, the AI will trigger that custom function, which will then go through an automation into 11 labs, and 11 labs will then call that number, and the AI will call them, have a conversation, and it can, of course, get that info back. For example, with get order status, it'll fetch your Shopify store, get the order status for someone. So it's two-way, whereas tags and webhooks, they're just one way. You can, with custom functions, you can pretty much do anything, connect any system. The possibilities are endless. So next up, try out. Again, it's the same. It's a test environment where you can try out the campaign. So you can see there's a chat in here. So I'll just restart this for now. So there's a few things here. We have the import export again. We have optimize campaign. So what optimize campaign does is, for example, let's say you want to change the name. It's spread across this entire playbook, so you'd have to change it everywhere. Well, there's two things you can do. You can then export it to ChatGPT or maybe just a text file editor and find and replace it there. Or you can use optimize campaign. Keep in mind this does cost credits, where you tell the system to go through the playbook and make the changes. And then we can test it out here. I'll just say hi for now. And we can see it's responding now. Sometimes when it says here tap to refresh, you just need to refresh the page where the UI gets stuck for some reason. It's a small bug we're looking into. If that happens, just refresh the page and you'll see the AI's response. In a live chat, that doesn't happen. So here we see it's responded, and it's saying John because the test contact's default name is John. So you can change that as well if you'd like. So let's say I didn't like that it said this is his name, this is his name. You just give it a thumbs down and then say what did the AI do wrong, what should have happened, and then it's going to go through the entire playbook and make all the changes, and you can approve or reject all of the changes and then save it. Then you can click this restart button here. It's going to restart the conversation from that point on. So since this is a fresh chat, it's not a good example, but for example, in a live chat, if the AI did something wrong at the 10th message, it wouldn't be really user friendly to have to recreate a conversation all yourself. So what we've done is, if you actually head over to a live chat, you can see here the AI is handling a chat in Hebrew. I have no idea what it's saying here. But you click these three dots and then click test in playground. What it's going to do is it's going to copy that entire conversation over here. You can see here it switched languages because someone started speaking Hebrew. But let's say we didn't want it to start speaking Hebrew for whatever reason. what we would do is we'd go here where it went wrong. We'd give it a thumbs down, and we would say don't switch your languages, just stick to English, and then it would make those changes. And then you can just click restart on this button, and it would restart the conversation from that point on, and you can see whether what you've changed or the changes to the prompt, if those had the impact you would want. And then you can just save it to campaign. There will also be a banner here, so telling you that the changes are not live yet; they're just in the test environment. So whatever you change in now, it won't happen live. You need to explicitly save to campaign for the changes to go live. Let's see, step 7 is just launching it. So here we can configure the follow-ups again. And we have step 8, monitor, which is not important for now. I think where people get stuck a lot of the times is with connecting channels. So I'll quickly go over here. So I already explained WhatsApp Business API and the WhatsApp Web. You see in my account, I can connect multiple numbers. That's not publicly available yet. It's something we're working on. So SMS works through Twilio. So when you click SMS, you need to actually buy the number inside Twilio and connect your Twilio account, because there's like lots of regulation and forms you need to fill in. We decided not to replicate inside the MChamp because it's constantly changing. We can't keep up with that. It's not easy to just do it there, and then you can connect the number to the MChamp and it will start working. WhatsApp Web I've already explained. WhatsApp Business API I've already explained. Chat widget, everything I've explained. So make sure that these numbers are actually active. Sometimes people add the number and they don't finish the flow or whatever. So, and it's going to say the active green won't show here. So if we scroll down here, we see some fields you might have not seen before. But we can see I've connected 2 WhatsApp web numbers here. This is a fresh number, and you can see it's had 2 active days, so its message limit is a lot lower. We ramp the numbers up across 2 months. You can manually slide it to the right if you would like, because we don't know how long you've been using the number. So we rather be safe. So you can manually increase the limits up to, I think it's 500 messages per day. And if you want to go beyond, you can also do that. For example, for this number, so my main number, I've ramped it up to 750 messages per day. We have users that have done 1,000, 1,200 messages per day. There is no real limit. It's just being careful, not spamming people, and finding what the limit really is. And we're constantly implementing new methods, behaviors to like keep your numbers safe. So this warm up is one of them. The next up is follow ups. So you can see here for this number, I have a automated follow ups. I've added a override to not do that. So what you see is if you have a fresh number, or when does Meta or WhatsApp block your number, it's when you send follow-ups to not per se cold contacts, could even be warm contacts. So don't do follow-ups, don't do cold outreach to cold contacts with a fresh number. That's why for this number, because it's so fresh, the cold outreach is even disabled. And for this one, it's the fresh one, it's limited to 50. Because WhatsApp Web is really, you need to really be careful with cold outreach there, and follow up. So for this fresh number, do not enable follow ups. Disable them. This number, it's a lot. It's fully up and running. You can enable follow ups, and here we have some recommended check marks or criteria you want to hit before you enable follow ups. That's one thing about follow-ups. Second thing is, if we go to security in general, we now have this follow-up timing. So in a lot of countries, you need to respect quiet hours if you're doing marketing. So this isn't the active times you set in the campaign level. This is for follow-ups. So quiet hours in most countries are 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. where you're not allowed to reach out to those customers. So I recommend turning this on. And in the USA, in some states you aren't even allowed to respond on Sundays. So you can toggle that on here as well. And this also helps with keeping your number not get banned. So I don't see why you would toggle this off. Keep this on. So let's see what's next. Profile, security. We have a pause all AI messages here in case you just want to turn it off or the AI goes crazy, which never happens. But just to keep your mind at ease, we have that option here. Time zone, make sure this is correct. For bookings, for example, you want that to be correct. Business info, team. Here you can add team members with different roles. And you can even set custom permissions to each section. This is also relevant for sub accounts. If you create a sub account and you want to also give the client access to the sub account with some limitations, you could edit them here. Next up, we have billing, so credit management, API key usage. All your tags are here. Short links is something we're working on. iMessage, also something we're working on. Here you have all your WhatsApp templates, your FAQs, your custom functions, your integrations, webhooks. So here we have notifications, email notifications, and push notifications. So we're working on a mobile app as well. So you can receive push notifications now. We'll probably send a video soon. Then we have bring your own API key, of course, and then white labeling. Should I go over white labeling now? Yeah, sure. So the way white labeling works is you add your domain. We recommend doing a subdomain such as app.whatever.com. And then you need to add a CNAME record such as this to this endpoint. Keep that in mind. We've recently changed the endpoint you need to set. And if you're using Cloudflare, make sure this is off like this. And it's pretty straightforward. You connect that once the first time you visit it, and it might say SSL is not done. And if that takes a while, you might need to restart your PC because it's cached the wrong version. So if you do that, it should show it correctly. We've now also added white label docs and fully white label API. These are optional. So for this, you need to add 2 more records, such as docs to the same endpoint and API to the same endpoint. And we've added a custom email provider. It's also optional because we just use a generic sender with your business as a name. So it's still white label. But if you want to use your own Mailgun account, you can do that where it's fully white labeled. Then we have some fields you can fill in, support email. And then we have this, some configuration you can do. Whether to show the help menu to sub accounts, show API reference in the docs, show changelog in the docs. You're probably wondering what does all of that mean? So if you don't add this here, docs of my review agent.ai, when you click the preview your docs, now you can see it's fully white labeled. But if you do not add that, it would show something like, it will show this endpoint. So it's your AI connector, and then it forwards to my review agent. So adding that docs adds another nice bit of extra white labeling to the platform. And you can see it's got my own icon here, and here, because I've if you let's turn these two on. Oh, it's cached now. All right, so I just cleared the cache, and you can see it shows API reference now, and also you can see the API reference is fully white labeled. What's new? Changelog is also fully white labeled. But we can understand you don't want to show this to customers. So if we head back to docs and turn this to off, save. If I Control Shift R, you can see those who are clear now. And here, this is the white label and URL. You can go to help here. You can see your customers will have fully white labeled docs. If they click contact support, it will also be white labeled, depending on what you put here, or it will be your default account email. That's for white labeling. What else do I need to go over? So I'll quickly go over the chats page. So yeah, on the left you have all the chats. You can select chats, multi-select chats by clicking the avatar. For example, if I do this, they'll see I got some bulk actions I can do. Close that for now. On the top right, you can mute notification sounds or keep them on. Just mute it for now. Filters here, open chats, close chats, active, pause, attention required, archived, follow up, campaigns, or filter by tags. Then let me go over some of these. Where you can see the AI is responding here, the AI is thinking, the AI is typing now. You can stop the AI from typing by clicking this. Initially, when you've just set up your AI, you might want to look into that. Let's go to a pause chat. So yeah, you can see voice notes are automatically transcribed. Bot is paused there because the interaction limit's been reached. This was what I was talking about earlier, the 100 message limit. But here you can generate reply. So there's some hidden functionality. If you hold this, it'll open a pop-up where you can add your own custom instructions. If you want it to say something specific, you can do that here and then click generate reply. Or if you just click generate reply, it will just generate the reply. And you can see the reply that's been generated. Then you can send this like this, or you can hold this and you can split and send it in chunks. So those are some hidden functionality that isn't very clear in the UI. Every time you click resume the AI, it will also check the conversation and schedule a follow-up if needed. So if I go to someone else that's paused. Now, for example, if I do here, so it's going to analyze the chat, and if it thinks it's necessary to schedule a follow-up, it will do that. In this case, it's not. So let's try this one. Oh, this one isn't even assigned to a campaign, is it? Yeah, you can see here scheduled a follow-up. Also, the follow-up have some randomization to it, so it won't be exactly 24 hours. It will have some jitter. That's also something that that helps by not getting flagged by Meta's automation detection. Contacts. Oh, so here you have a multi-select. This is some functionality I don't think is available in all accounts yet. I'll get to that later then. The three dots, you can assign people to a campaign if you want to do that manually. For example, you can see here the campaigns we have. It's important that the campaign has the channel of that contact enabled, otherwise it won't show in this list. We can can export the chat, do not disturb, or mark them as private. This has reminded me of something. When connecting your WhatsApp web initially, you'll get the option to import your existing contacts and also to set the bot for them on active or inactive, and a third option whether to mark them as private or not. So let me explain what it exactly is. For example, if you have existing customers on your WhatsApp business and you want them into the system, you probably want to import them, and you might not want the AI active for them because they might have had chats that are like completely something else. So you would mark the AI as inactive for those, and then you'll still have them in the system to see what they're talking about. So when would you use private? If you have actual personal contacts there as well, and you need to import them into the system and then mark them as private during the initial setup, or you can do it later. What that does is it does create the contact in our system, but it clears those messages and it doesn't add them to the system. So otherwise, every time they would message you, it would automatically add them to the system, and the AI will start responding. You don't want that. So either import all of your contacts initially, and then if you want to mark them all as private, you can do that during that phase. If you want to mark certain contacts as private, just import everyone, and then after that, just go to the contacts page and mark people as private here by yourself. So the contacts page, we got some filters here. These are your lists. You can select and do some bulk actions as well. Export, import contacts, create new contacts. I think this doesn't need much explaining. The deals page. I don't really use this yet, but we have quite a few users that already use this. It's basically a deal pipeline where you can keep track of everything. So if you click the settings here, you can add new stages. You can add triggers to it. So if someone gets a certain tag, they get automatically added to that stage. A deal gets created automatically, so you can see whether your AI is closing deals or not. That's what this is for. And then we have tasks. This is some new functionality we're working on, but basically what it does is during the conversation, the AI makes notes of stuff that it wants you to look at. For example, here we see FAQ update. That means this was some gap in knowledge, and it wants you to look at it, and you can instantly add that to the FAQ and also send a follow-up to whoever was asking that. I'll create a separate video about this later. Daily summaries is something similar, something new we're working on, where at the end of the day, the AI goes through everything and gives you a summary of what happened that day. Automations is also something new we're working on, so nothing to show here for now. Campaigns, one thing I probably missed is channel routing. So sometimes people have set the campaign live, but the channel routing was not correctly set up. So if they message their number, the system doesn't route that number to the correct channel. So these are your default mappings. So the reason you can't have multiple campaigns live at the same time, but there needs to be a way for the system to distinguish where to put someone. So for incoming campaigns, you can't do that with keywords. So if someone said a certain keyword, they would go there. If someone said another keyword, they would go there. For outgoing campaigns, you need to do that through the API or manually through the UI. And here you basically set the default incoming channel. And most of the times that will be one campaign where you don't have any keywords. So when someone says anything, they'll go through that email. So make sure that this is set correctly. Appointments. So you can create event types here on the right, create event type, give it the name, duration, keep, in most cases you want to keep it as 15-minute slots. Whether this is a repeating appointment, most cases it should not be. Minimum hour notice, and how many days into the future they can book. Then you can add so-called rooms. I actually added this one. Yeah. So you can add so-called rooms, and you can connect that room to your Google Calendar. So your Google Calendar might have multiple calendars. It's one Google account can have multiple calendars, so keep that in mind. They're called rooms, but they're not really rooms. It's just to give you to paint a picture in your head. If you're, for example, clinic, you can have multiple rooms at the same time, and each room can be booked. This could also be salespersons or whatever. But you can set your weekly hours, and of course, this will actually check your Google Calendar whether the slot is available or not. And then to enable that, you need to go to campaigns. Where is it now? Here, edit, and then you would enable bookings here and select it from the drop down, which I'm not going to do now. Settings, I've gone over everything here. Two things remaining then, sub accounts and reselling. So there's two ways to set up sub accounts. You can create one here. You add the account, you fill this in, and then it's going to create a sub account, and it'll show you a temporary password you can share with your customer. And here you can edit how many monthly credits they get, the current credits, whether to send notifications to the sub accounts and notifications to the agency, roll over used credits to the next month, which features they have access to, and that's it. So this is for a managed service. Alhamdulillah. So this is for a managed service where you would externally charge them for these credits. If you're offering agency services and already invoicing them, you can just add another line. Then we also have reselling mode. This is a bit different. This is where they buy the credits directly through the system. So close this for now. So I don't think I've set up reselling in this account, but the way it works is you connect your Stripe, and then you need to create like this restricted API key, paste it, and then you can create your own plans, and you'll get a payment link. You can share that payment link with customers, and everything will be automated for them. Credits, they'll pay you for those credits. You can add your own markup there, and they'll have access to the platform. So it's like you have to compare it to go high level SaaS mode or reselling mode, whatever they call it. Whereas the other one, if you create them here, it's more of a managed way. So those are two ways to create sub accounts. So once a customer pays you, they'll be redirected to sign up, and they'll see your white labeled sign up page. They can create an account, get access. They'll go through the guided onboarding and get up and running. You can access all the sub accounts through here. So through the sub accounts page, you can click this and you can sign in, or we have a quick access here on the top left as well. So that's it for now. If you haven't grabbed the AmCham, do it before it hits number one in AppSumo, because we're probably going to do a price increase soon. So take care for now. Bye.